Well, welcome back. President Trump formally notifying Congress that the U.S. is again engaged in military action against Iran, triggering a new 60-day period under the War Powers Resolution before congressional authorization is required. A new wave of U.S. strikes hit Iran early this morning, marking a third straight night of attacks on Iran. U.S. Central Command says that the 5-hour mission targeted Iranian air defenses, missile sites, and drone facilities. The military says these sites were targeted to further degrade Iran's ability to hit ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The president now reimposing the blockade on Iranian ports, scheduled to take effect at 4 p.m. Eastern today. U.S. officials say it applies to vessels entering or leaving ports of Iran, while ships traveling to other countries are allowed to transit the strait. Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So what is your reaction to the renewed fighting on Iran? What are you expecting?
Well, first of all, the ceasefire is over, and it's because of Iran. They are the ones who are the aggressor here. They had the choice to make between aggression or looking at a peaceful deal that they could have signed with the Memorandum of Understanding, which I might add really was good for them. They had that opportunity, and they took the opposite direction, and they decided on aggression. Now they're suffering the consequences of that, and they're going to suffer the consequences of that. However, they've still got the opportunity to come to the peace table if they will. And if they do, it will benefit their country. Listen, this Memorandum of Understanding is laden with incentives for them to exhibit good behavior. And if they do that, they'll be rewarded for that.
Well, how long do you expect this to go on? Do you have any sense of how significant or deep the fighting will go?
Well, what I do know is that Iran, their economy is in shambles. We know that. We know that their military has been obliterated. We know that they are suffering right now. So how long can they go on? I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect that it's not much longer that they can afford to, or that they can even have the ability to go on.
All right. Well, look, you and your colleagues are back for the last meaningful legislative window before the big events, the August recess and then the midterms. Lawmakers are obviously still reeling over the sudden passing of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Republicans facing an uphill battle in this short period of time with critical legislation to pass, including the defense money, NDAA, appropriations bills, the Save America Act, potentially a third reconciliation package. And I know that the House will try to pass a procedural rule today, allowing the chamber to vote on legislative priorities. What would you believe to be the biggest priority in terms of getting what you can done before in this short period of time? I know you'd like to. The House has talked about combining the Save America Act with the National Security and State Department funding bill. Is that right?
That is right. And the Budget Committee has been meeting over the weekend, and we even met yesterday afternoon. And I can tell you, we're going to get this done. We're going to get Reconciliation 3.0 done. We want to make sure that our troops, our defense, has the resources they need to safely and effectively finish this situation in Iran. We also want to make sure that we get the Save America Act passed. We need to make sure that we've got photo ID, that we have proof of citizenship. This is essential. We can combine these things, and we can get this done. Now, we hope to get it posted today. We hope to mark it up on Thursday. If we can get that done, then I think over the next 2 weeks, we can finish this deal.
Well, that would be great. But once it gets to the Senate, that's a whole nother story, right?
There's no question about that. A whole nother story.
In other words, they're not going to pass the Save America Act.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think that the administration is working diligently on trying to get the Senate to a situation, to a place where they can pass this. And I think that they're going to be able to do that. We met with James Braid last night, and he was very confident that we could get this through the Senate. We've just got to do our job in the House. We can do our job and get it over there. Let's get this process started, and let's work through it. And with diligence, I'm convinced that we can get this done.
All right. Well, we spoke with Senator Mike Lee from Utah. I spoke with him on Sunday, and here's what he said is an achievable path. Watch this.
I believe, Maria, that there are multiple paths ahead by which we could pass this. Maybe that involves attaching it to another must-pass vehicle. Maybe it involves bringing it up on the floor and debating it until it passes, something that I've long advocated. Maybe it involves picking out pieces of it that could be implemented through creative uses of budget reconciliation. I'm not terribly partial to any of these three. I personally prefer the second. I think that would give us our best chance. But I will take any opportunity to debate this, any opportunity to cause it to become law, because the American people deserve it. The American people want it. Voters overwhelmingly support it to the tune of about 80%. That's Democrats and Republicans alike. One of the best ways we could honor Lindsey Graham's legacy would be to take this up and pass it this month.
Unfortunately, I know that Senator Lindsey Graham was one of the big backers of the Save America Act in the Senate. Not sure where that leaves things today.
I actually think that now we have an impetus, if you will, to pass this bill, because this is something Lindsey Graham worked hard on, and it would be in his honor for us to get this passed. So I think this gives us something to rally around. And and you know, thoughts and prayers with Lindsey Graham's family. A terrible loss to this country, but at the same time, now this opportunity presents itself where we can rally around trying to honor him by passing the Save America Act, as Senator Lee pointed out, something that the majority of Americans want us to do. Yeah. Why doesn't the Senate understand that? This is something Americans want.
Right. It's too bad. Really so sad about Lindsey Graham, and my condolences to you and your colleagues. Meanwhile, there are internal divisions emerging within the Democrat Socialists of America now over how and when the organization should endorse a candidate for the 2028 presidential election. One faction, known as the Groundwork Caucus, is pushing for an early endorsement of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, arguing that the decision would strengthen the group's influence in the next presidential election and quote, build power for socialism, Congressman. Your reaction to your colleague, AOC, perhaps being their candidate in 28?
Well, look, there's a civil war going on in the Democratic Party. There's no question about that. And this is having an impact on the Democratic Party as a whole, because as they move further left, then leadership's having to go further left. And that's pulling their party even further left towards socialism. And look, I serve on the same committee, Energy and Commerce, as AOC. She's a nice person and everything. But if she is the future of the Democratic Party, I think we've got a bright future in the Republican Party.
All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, we'll be watching your work on all of these busy days. Thanks very much, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Congressman Buddy Carter. We'll be right back with major bank earnings. Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup all reporting this morning. Stay with us.